Hey guys, my name is Scoby and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to create a particle dispersion effect in Adobe Photoshop. This is going to be a nice, quick and easy tutorial. I'm going to be showing you step by step how to do everything. Let's jump right into this. So this video is brought to you by me. Today I'm going to be sponsoring my own video with my new merch line. This is going to be the first t-shirt I'm going to be launching for the channel. It's a very nice quality print that you can get from Teespring. Everything is linked right below the video here and all videos on my channel. It comes in a number of different colors. You can get it in a hoodie, different women's style t-shirts, stickers. It'll definitely support the channel if you can check it out, and I'd really appreciate it. Let's jump right into the video. So the first thing you need to do is have Photoshop open and have an image open inside Photoshop. In this case, I have this image right here. And we're going to be doing a couple things to create this effect. I'm going to be showing you exactly how to customize it and giving you some tips and tricks along the way. So the first thing we need to do is come to our layers panel on the right. And what we're going to be doing is creating a duplicate of our original layer. We can do this by having our layer selected and simply clicking Ctrl and J. And what we will do is create a new duplicate of this layer. From this point, what I'm going to be doing is hiding my background layer, and I'm going to be leaving this here as a backup in case we ever need to get back and have an image in the original state. From this point, we're going to be selecting the new layer that we just created. And what we're going to be doing is content aware filling the soldier here that we're going to be removing from our image and removing him as a subject. To do this really easy, what we're going to be doing is selecting our lasso tool and just the normal one, not the magnetic or the polygonal. And what we're going to be doing is roughly drawing around the subject that you want to remove and have in your particle effect. So in my case, I'm going to be using the soldier right here. I'm simply going to be drawing all the way around him, trying to leave as much out on the outside as we can. However, you don't need to be super accurate here, and just having this shape created. From this point, we're going to be coming up to edit, and we're going to be looking for content aware fill right here. If we select this, what we're going to get is this new window open up here on the right, and Photoshop is now going to look at the image and automatically fill in the space that we selected with the surrounding image and kind of guess and assume what's meant to be here. Now in my case, this actually turned out pretty well, so I'm instantly going to click OK, and now the soldier is going to be removed from this image. What I can do from this point is click Ctrl and D to deselect, and what I have is this nice background image right here. So this soldier is actually completely removed from this point, and what I have right now are two separate images. If you come over to the layers panel, you can see I have my layer 1 copy and my layer 1. The layer 1 copy is actually the content fill that we just created, so if I hide this, you can see the image is still right below it. In my case, what I'm going to be doing is just selecting this to be on again, and I'm just going to be merging these two layers by selecting both, right clicking, and then click merge layers, which is going to create this into one layer. From this point, what I'm going to be doing is duplicating our background again, so we have our image in the original state, and I'm going to be dragging it to the very top. I'm going to be making this layer visible again by clicking the eye tool. I'm going to be coming back to the toolbar on the left, and I'm going to be looking for the quick selection tool, which should be W on your keyboard, or if you press and hold, it can be under the object selection tool or the magic wand. What we're going to do is just selecting the quick selection tool, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be zooming in, and we're going to be selecting and highlighting all of the soldier or subject area that you want to create the particle effect on. So we're just going to be dragging over all the area where you want your subject to be. So in my case, it's this person along with the gun and the full suit. And here you can just scroll around and select everything you want. Now from this point, if you want to remove or extract some area, if we look in the circle in the center that we have in this tool, you may notice right now there's a minus. So that means anything we draw over in Photoshop will be deselected. If you hold the shift tool, this minus will change to a plus. That means anything we select from this point will actually be added to our selection. So if you want to add anything to your selection, simply hold shift. If you want to remove anything from your selection, let go of shift and just draw over when the minus is inside. And your goal here is just to try to get this as accurate as possible on your selection. So once you're happy with your selection, what we're going to be doing is coming up to the top left, and we're going to be looking for the select and mask option right here. If I select this, it's going to bring open another window where we can refine our edges and everything a little bit more. So what I can recommend doing is playing around with the other settings right here. But once you're happy with everything, what I'm going to be doing is coming to the output settings. I'm going to be changing my output 2 to the layer mask. So if I select this, click OK, this will now be added to a layer mask. So if I hide the layer behind this, you can see now we just have our soldier selected here inside this mask. Again, one more time, I'm going to be creating one more duplicate of this. I'm then going to be selecting the mask on the new layer we just created, and I'm going to be right clicking, and I'm going to be clicking apply layer mask. Now that means that our new layer that we just created here is going to only contain this, and we're going to be using this to create our dispersal effect. From this point, what we're going to be doing is adding a liquify to this. So to create a liquify effect, we're going to be selecting the new layer that we just created, and we're going to be selecting liquify. The shortcut for this is Shift Control X. Select this, and then this new tool and window will come up. From this point, what we're going to be doing is clicking and dragging and liquefying our image in any direction. So here's the point where you'll need to choose which direction or area you would like to do. You can do it in an upwards, in an angle of 45 degree either way, or any direction you want to have this subject being dispersed in. In my case, I'm going to be creating it up towards the right. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is creating a smaller sized brush. So somewhere around 2 to 300, depending on the size of your image. Once you see me doing this, it'll start to make sense. And I'm going to simply click and drag our image to liquefy it in this kind of upright direction that I want it to go. So I'm trying to aim in a 45 degree angle. So I'm slowly going to be pushing the object and the soldier in this direction to create this effect. Now, once you have this initial stretching done, what I'd recommend doing is changing your brush size. So in my case, I'm going to go up to 600. So you can double it if you would like, just to stretch it out a little bit further. Now here you don't actually have to go all the way to the edges. It's kind of like where you would like your dispersal effect to start and begin. So in my case, I'm not going to go all the way, although I'm going to go pretty close to the edge for most of this. So something like this is going to work okay for me. Once you're happy with your liquify, all we need to do is click OK on the bottom right, and then your changes are going to be brought into effect. For this point, what we're going to be doing is creating another mask for this layer. However, we're going to be instantly inverting the mask. So we're going to have to actually paint on to show anything. To do this, we need to make sure we have our liquefied layer selected. We're going to be coming down to the mask button right here, and we're going to be holding the Alt key and then selecting it, which is going to hide our layer instantly. And you can see this is now on a black background, which means we're going to have to go in here and manually add to our image. So what we're going to be doing from this point is rehiding our original non-liquefied layer. And I'm going to be bringing this to the very top of our canvas. I'm then going to be selecting the mask for this image right here. And I'm then going to be opening up the brush tool. We can do this by clicking B or coming over and selecting the brush tool over here. We're then going to be making sure we have the black color selected. So you can see I have it selected right here. And then we're going to be selecting a particle style brush or any other brush you would like to start to take away and create some of this particle effect. To change our brush, what we can do is when we have our brush tool selected, we can come up to the top left, click on the brush library right here, select brushes, and here we can see a list of all the different brushes currently installed in our Photoshop. Now from this point, if you would like to install other brushes, I'll be leaving links in the description down below to some other brushes that you can download. And I'll also be leaving a link in the description down below to a video where I show you how to install these brushes. And in this case, I already have some dispersal effect brushes that I'm going to be using. And here I'd recommend creating a mix and match of the brushes, sizes, and the angles that we use to create this effect. So what I'm going to be doing is starting with number 20. I'm going to be starting with about 1000 pixels in size. And then to change the angle and orientation, what we can do is right click and select the angle effect right here, which will determine the shape of how our brush is selected. So you can see as I actually change the size and angle here, you can see it will change the effect dramatically. So what we can do is use a mix and match here to create the effect we want. So our goal is to click, select, and remove some of the shape here to create a particle effect on our image. So you don't want to have something that looks too much like a pattern. So our goal here is to change between all of the different sizes and angles and make it look as random and interesting as possible. Don't be afraid to go too deep or too aggressive here. At a later point, we can come in and refine this because it's on a mask. So we don't have to worry too much about making a mistake. We can always come back and fix it a little bit later on. Once you're happy with this initial partial creation, what we're going to be doing is then coming to the layer that we created before with the liquify. We're going to be selecting the mask again. And now we're going to be changing our brush color from black to white. And we're going to be slowly starting to reveal the liquify layer to create the particles again. So again, we're going to be doing the same thing just with the opposite color. And we're going to notice that right away our particles are going to start showing here in the background as we start to paint this. And you'll see that we're going to be creating this nice cool broken effect alongside of our image. Once you're happy with the general particle effect you've created, what we're going to do is show our background layer again. And you can see we give this nice kind of scattered effect to our image. Now, depending on the image that you actually have, you may need to add some color correction and texture here to make your particles show up more, or maybe you want to go in and refine and remove some of your particle effects. To do this, what we can do is select either of our layer masks and then just paint in black or white to add or remove particles at any point. So in this case, say you wanted to remove more of the soldier here to make it more obvious that it's going to be separating. What we can do is select our soldier layer right here, select the mask for our soldier right here, select a black color, and then we're simply going to open up our brush tool again and just start to remove more of the soldier here to make it look a bit more dramatic. Again, it's always recommended to experiment with the different brushes and the different sizes so we can really create a cool effect here. So you can really start to experiment and create exactly the effect you're going for. Again, like I mentioned, using some different effects and using some different color corrections and gradients and layers can really help this pop a little bit more. Again, I'm not going to be showing everything in today's video, otherwise it would be really long. However, I have a number of other tutorials on my channel for Photoshop where you can use some of these different effects to make this look even cooler. Anyway guys, it's as easy as that to create a particle effect in Adobe Photoshop. If you guys enjoyed this tutorial, be sure to drop a like. Subscribe if you're new, check out the other videos on the channel. I'm going to be leaving a link down below to my PayPal if you found these videos helpful and you want to support me. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, as always, keep it saucy. Peace.